Hey guys, so this might be one of the most exciting videos that I've put out on the channel, being able to basically show you everything you haven't seen so far. That includes the alliance system, a bit more gameplay of the launch bay, crafting, emotes, dailies, all those bits and pieces that people haven't been able to see yet, I'll be able to show you. This was made possible by the EA Game Changers. I am one of them, and I was invited to the event in London to capture various bits of the game. Early game, the stuff that we'll be playing in the VIP demo, and other stuff that I can't talk about just yet. My name is Ryan Central. If you want more Anthem content, and there will be a lot of it going out on the channel very soon, then do subscribe to the channel. And today we have a new giveaway starting. The main winner will win a copy of the Legion of Dawn edition of the game on any console of your choosing, apart from the Soldier Boy one of course. And then a runner-up will also win a standard copy. So you have the chance to win the game twice in this giveaway, and you basically do the same things as you did last time. So for another chance to enter, do look into the comments and description below. With that said, we have a lot to get over in this video. So let's start with the gameplay that's been on in the background whilst I've been rambling. This is a world event that's been going on at the moment. Spawns Ursixes if you take too long. That's why we end up having two fighting us, and I've been playing the Storm. Granted, I have a bit of a Hot Rod Red theme going on like Iron Man, but my other theme, which was Mysterio based, was a hell of a lot better, I found. So this was all early game. We leveled through the tutorial, went to about level 5 or 6 in total, I believe, and I played the Storm. I will be talking about javelins, what I'm going to be playing in another video, but this is just a nice example of a fairly difficult world event mission going on at the moment. I do want to give my impressions again in another video just because there's so much stuff to go over, but I will say that the difficulty and AI of the game is 100% better than it was in previous games that we played in Stockholm and bits and pieces like that. The AI is more responsive and the game is actually quite difficult, so that's good news for a lot of people. As I said, I could go into more extensive detail some other time, especially when we're talking about later parts of the game, which I can't talk about just yet. Now that we've gone over just an example of a world event, how difficult it can be, just some really cool stuff that we got to do during this playtest. Now I want to go over the different elements and areas that we haven't seen a lot of or heard a lot of information about, such as the alliance system. I guess we got to start with the launch bay. The launch bay was announced yesterday. It was in the playtest event that we had, and here's me, Arix, and Willis running around it showing it off for the first time. But we literally accidentally stumbled into it and was like, what is this? This is amazing. So for those that don't know, this is a social space that you can run around in your javelin suit with up to 16 people, some of which are your friends, some of which can be randoms. From here you can access the forge, which you can see on the left and right hand sides. I believe that these are the forges. I never actually got to use it. In front of the main door you can see a cosmetic store where you can buy emotes and bits of gear. We'll go over that in a second, as I do have a few to show you. And then you can also get to the expedition screen, which is where you pick your mission and difficulty, bits and pieces like that. You can also have chat messages. There is VoIP in the game, so you can talk to people, but there's no text chat, of course, not at launch at least. You can talk to people saying hello, thumbs up, confused. Most importantly, you can say that you're looking for a group or looking for a mentor. Now, one of the ways that you can access this is whilst you're matchmaking, waiting for people for Stronghold missions, which is what we were doing at this time. Again, we'll go over the Stronghold in a second. But you can also add people to your favorites. You can ignore them and invite them to your squad with relative ease. I'm pretty sure all you need to do is hold F on the target and you can use your emotes and just hang out, and this is just us running around the area. I wanted to show off a little bit seeing as it was announced yesterday. Really cool thing that BioWare quickly put together because the community really wanted it, so kudos to them. Next up, the alliance system has been confusing people all week, so I wanted to go over how the game defines what it is with this alliance tutorial screen. The alliance system earns you and your friends coins. Use coins to buy appearances for your javelin and crafting materials for blueprints in the forge. Your tier determines how much coin you gain. Your friends' tier determines how much coin they contribute to you. Alliance system resets every week. The alliance system is done for your friends list. Everybody that's on this list were my friends on the playtest. Out of everyone, I believe that there was like 40-50 PCs there with people playing on them, all of which were my friends on this. So you know, you could group up with people, even if they're on the other side of the room. You could go, what computer are you? Oh, I'm Lancer 33. You can add them to the group, right? Out of everyone, Willis and Arix have contributed the most coins, out of my friends at least, because they had done the most. We had breezed past everybody else doing the early game because we wanted to try out some later game stuff. We'd done Lost Ark of this like 5 times, remember? Which is like the first mission. And I was also contributing the same amount of coin to them because we were all tier level 3. Lancer 29, Lancer 22 weren't as far ahead in the story. They'd done less than us, so they were level 2 and they were contributing less coins to us. And they were also getting less coins from us because they were lower tier level. So if you're a high tier level and your friends are a high tier level, you will get a lot of coin. However, if your friends are a high tier level and you're say Lancer 21 that's done basically nothing, you will get less coin. So the system requires you to have a high tier level, so you contribute coin to your friends, and the more that you contribute to your friends, the more that they can contribute to you. That's kind of how the system works, and it resets on a weekly basis, but this isn't like a guild that you have to join. If you're friends with people, your friends list will become your alliance system. It's just a nice way to play with people, to incentivize you to do a lot, and also have friends on your friends list that do a lot too by getting coins. We'll show exactly what coins can buy you in the future, but the economy in this system isn't done yet. So you have a good glimpse of how the coins work, but this is all subject to change. So whilst it says that Arex and Willis will give me 165 coins each, it might be twice that, it might be half that, it might be 100 times that. It hasn't been decided yet. Game is still a work in progress. Now here's some of the gameplay that I'm going to ask you guys if you want to see more of. This is the Stronghold mission that will be in the VIP demo. It's called the Tyrant Mine. As I highlighted before, it's basically the Scars of Villainy one from the E3 gameplay demo that we saw last year. It is a little bit different, but there's some similarities. For example, the boss is still the big swarm tyrant. If you want to see more of this gameplay, I'm down to show it maybe tomorrow or a day after, but I did want to show a brief glimpse of gameplay, just doing some bits and pieces around the world, getting some loot, picking up some stuff, showing off the Ranger. The Ranger was really fun to play, by the way. He was a little bit more vanilla for me, but I do think that every group to an extent is going to need a good Ranger on their side with the amount of utility that he can just provide. So as I said, if you want to see more of this and also the free play missions that I'll be showing in a second, do let me know in the comments and I could go over this in another video, giving my impressions of some of the bits and pieces that we did out in the world. But this video, I wanted it to be like a news roundup of all of the stuff that was in this playtest that we just haven't seen before. No doubt there'll be other people at the event showing off this Stronghold mission, but if you guys really want to see it, then I'll put up a video either later today or maybe tomorrow, who knows. But I'll let you check out a little bit more of the gameplay from the Stronghold mission.
Wave of stars.
Next up, I wanted to show the daily, weekly, and monthly system. So for example, we have a monthly challenge that we need to do. We have 12 days to do it in, and it's to complete Path to Glory challenges before the time runs out. We'd already done 4 out of 10, but the thing that I wanted to highlight about this one first is that you can see it says monthly bronze. So whilst this mission in itself doesn't seem very difficult, we're already halfway and we started the game like 2 hours ago, right? Once we complete this one, we might, I don't know for certain, we might get a monthly silver challenge, which might be more difficult, and then a monthly gold one, which might be to do some of the end game content on a hard difficulty. It doesn't necessarily say what you get for doing these challenges, so I don't actually know, but this is how the system works. Then we're looking over to the weeklies. You can see that you have weekly missions, so if you do 20 missions in a week, you get something. It might be experience, might be gear, might be loot, I'm not quite sure, but it also says weekly missions, so there might be, once you complete this one, might have access to do a weekly stronghold, stuff like that. I won't show the daily one because it has story spoilers, but it's basically complete a certain stronghold. This is an example of picking up a mission. This is like the 4th mission in the game, where you just do some bits and pieces for the freelancers. You can see the rewards that you get at the end. It's just a general briefing. Just wanted to show you that if you haven't seen it before. And this is also the messenger page. You will see this every time that you log in, I believe. It will have bits and pieces, maybe dev updates. You might have streamers shown in there, for example, if they're doing bits and pieces, or any new cosmetics that may come out, or just new updates, right? Typical system that you see in a lot of games. Next up, I wanted to show some of the different emotes. You can see that they each have rarities too. These are the victory Victory pose emotes, which are shown at the end of an expedition. You have the chest pound and the fancy bow, which is a bit more epic, so I would assume that it would cost a lot more. Again, we're not looking at how much stuff costs because the economy isn't quite done yet. But you also have arrival animations, which this is your normal default one for the storm, but you can also get this genie in a bottle type, and this is every time that you appear in a mission, either at the start of Fort Tarsis when you're about to go to free play, or whether you join a friends group halfway through a stronghold. These are your normal emotes, so you can use these basically anytime out in the world, with some look back in arms crossed ones, as well as some finger pointing and thumbs up. You of course have the heavy guitar one, which we have seen before, and also you can make your javelin into a robot, which makes a lot of sense. And I believe that these are universal to all of the javelins, so yes, you can have a big boy Colossus, fit guys save lives, doing a robot. There are more emotes than these ones, I do believe, but these were the ones that were in the playtest, which I did want to show you guys because they're pretty good. Of course, in the VIP demo, you will be able to run around Fort Tarsis. This is just me walking around at night time. One thing that people didn't know is that there is a day-night cycle within Anthem. It's a lot quicker than a normal day-night cycle in the actual world, but you can't go out into the world whilst it's dark, evening time, morning, and you can definitely notice it, and it does change the mobs that spawn, I do believe. Now I want to show off the reputation system. This is for the Sentinels. You can see your reputation progress at the bottom, but most importantly, you can see the loyalty rewards. We're Sentinel Loyalty 2, so we have an unlocked uncommon and rare component blueprints that we can use and craft, which again, I'll show you in a second. This is some other gameplay that, as I said before, if you want to see more of this, then do let me know in the comments. It's us fighting an ancient Ash Titan at like level 6, so you still run into these big bad boys at a fairly early level, and they're fairly difficult to take down and a real challenge because you need to shoot their hit points when they're about to do damage to you, and as you see with the gameplay, they could very much one-shot you if you're not careful. I'll show a little bit more of the battle going on in the background for like 30 seconds or so, but if you do want to see more of this, let me know and I'll cover it in a video. Maybe I'll do that and the Stronghold together sometime tomorrow, for example. This is the vault. Everything you collect or salvage is stored here. This is where you manage your inventory, your guns, your components, your gear abilities, and also your crafting resources. You can look at certain weapon types. There are 9 weapon types in the game, and they are heavy pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, marksman rifles, machine pistols, light machine guns, sniper rifles, autocannons and grenade launchers. The last 2 only the Colossus can use. This is where you salvage bits of gear for crafting materials, which I'll show you in a second. You can see your different weapon rarities that you have, and this is also the same for components and gear slots, which as you can see have been separated for the components to basic in each of the different javelins, because some components can be universal. For example, increasing your ammo clip for shotguns, or increasing your melee damage. That could apply to all of the different javelins. Then you also have specific ones to certain abilities and elements, for example. Then you have the gear, which are all of the abilities. Of course, I spent all of this time playing the Storm, but I did unlock bits of gear for the Ranger, Colossus, and Interceptor, but as you can see, not as half as much as the Storm. So even if you just one-trick the Storm all the way to level 30, and then decide to play the Ranger, you will have unlocked some abilities, but not as many. Then you have the crafting resources. These are used to build stuff. These can include uncommon embers, which help you make uncommon gear, specific javelin parts such as Storm or Interceptor, and then just bits and pieces that you can get out in the world and from missions. So let's craft something. This is me wanting to craft a Frost Shard ability. As you can see, it costs a certain amount. That might be subject to change too. It might cost more or less, and it's just a case of craft the item and then you're good. But how do you unlock other blueprints, seeing as we only have the one for Frost Shards? Well, you unlock it for doing certain missions. You might unlock blueprints as we saw from the reputation stuff with the Sentinels, but also you have challenges in the game. So I kind of screwed up my recording here when playing Anthem on the playtest, but you can see that it says challenge complete, live in flame 1. So whilst I was playing, I was doing a lot with the ability Living Flame on the Storm, and whilst I was using that ability, I basically completed a challenge. It might be to kill 10 targets or to set on fire 10, 20 targets in a session, for example, and so I'll get some XP for doing this challenge, but I will also unlock an uncommon blueprint for the Living Flame. At least I believe so, I'm not 100% sure. And this is what the inventory and the challenge system looks like, and then to unlock rare and epic blueprints for this ability, you might need to do more. For example, instead of killing 10 people with the ability, you might need to kill 100 or 500. Just as an example, that's just me throwing out an idea there, doesn't mean that that's the case. You can see all of the common and uncommon items that you've picked up. Of course, you can't see what they are just yet. You can see your currency of different crafting materials, just in case you're going out for some specific bits and pieces, and also the feats, which are the challenges. You can see that I've killed 9 enemies, so I have the Gold Elite Slayer feat completed, and all they will do is give me extra experience that will go towards me at the end of an expedition, which I'll show just after this. There's some that are incomplete, some that I've not done anything towards, killing legendaries, starting combos, and of course the feats and stuff that I just mentioned. As I'm flying around, you can see as well that I completed the wind wall challenge, which might be to block a certain amount of ability. And with that, I should have unlocked an uncommon blueprint to make a wind wall. So if you like an ability, use it a lot, complete the challenges, and you will unlock blueprints as you go along. Finally, finishing up an expedition, you can see all of the feats that you work towards. You can also see the victory pose at the end of an expedition, the finger pointing one, and all of your experience is added up at the end. So that's a better look at all of the stuff that we've seen in the game but haven't seen an awful lot of, or not at all really, with how the alliance system works. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe if you did. More Anthem content coming soon, and if you do want to see more of our Stronghold run and also us fighting an ancient Ash Titan, then do let me know in the comments below, and I'll do a video either later on or tomorrow depending on how much people want to see. Hope you learnt a thing or two, and I'll see you next time.